Hello, everybody! We are live! My name is Rachel Henry, and I usually help backstage at all of the Storybook musical theater shows, especially Wizard of Oz, where there's lots of costume changes and set changes. And this is the first ever StreamYard Storybook musical theater Behind the Curtains. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah. So basically this is a chance for you all to learn what happens behind the scenes at a live show at Storybook, and we're going to reunite some of your favorite cast members. This time it's Wizard of Oz, and hopefully you'll hear a couple of fun stories, some memories. We're going to have some singing. If you like what you see and hear today, please comment and ask the actors anything that you'd like to know. We can see you, we can hear you. So please comment. We'll try to get back to you. Also, a big thing, please donate. Right now we're all going through some tough times with the COVID-19 shutting down everything, especially the arts. We love to bring live theater to everybody in the greater Philadelphia area. So please kind of help keep Storybook live for another 28 seasons. So you can donate at Venmo at Storybook-Musical Theater, or you can go onto our website, which is storybookmusical.org. So if you like what you see, please donate. Yay. Oh, hello from our artistic director. Hello. So yeah, that's all I have to say right now. So let's bring on all of the cast members. All right, starting with our lovely Dorothy and Professor/Wizard of Oz. That would be Aileen Goldberg and Mark Cairns and their dog Lucky. Hello, guys. Hey, hello.
Hello from quarantine.
Hello.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Not in Kansas, no.
Yeah.
And then up next we have our Corny and our Scarecrow. That's me, Carl Smith. Hello, Carl. Oh, you're muted. There you go. Unmute yourself, Carl. There you
Unmuted.
go. Unmuted. Hello, Carl.
Hi.
And
Sorry,
then
I had a cat adding to the conversation.
that's okay.
Anything. He's echoing.
I didn't want to tempt Toto, you know?
Yeah. And next, and certainly not least, is Hickory/Tinman. Here is Mr. Jeff Reim. Hello, Jeff.
Hello. Good to be here.
Good to be all right. So, how are you guys doing? I know we haven't seen some of you since when we closed this thing in December. How's everybody doing in quarantine? Keeping healthy, hanging in. We want to. That's good. Oh, and congratulations goes out to Jeff. His eldest son Ben just got married.
It's true. Ben, who used to come to see all of the Storybook shows when he was little, is now mere years away from bringing his own children to come and see Storybook shows.
Oh, that makes me feel really old, but thank you, Ben. Great.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to start things off.
What's this time off you were speaking of?
Time off, I don't know.
Quarantine? I don't know.
I didn't have any either, so it's okay.
I don't know. I gotta work my day job.
Woohoo!
Because actors have day jobs.
Yes. So I'm going to start things off by asking you a couple questions. So starting off, well, let's discuss how everybody got their roles at Wizard of Oz here. Aileen, how many times has this been you playing Dorothy?
I think we figured out that this is my 5th time playing Dorothy with Storybook and my 6th time playing Dorothy overall. And I think I've finally put up the ruby slippers. They finally retired.
All right. And Mark, you got the wizard because hi. Because of Lucky, right? No, we love you, Mark. But
Lucky got the part because he's my dog and he's adorable.
And Mark got the part because
I'm an outstanding actor.
Yes, exactly. Right. And he could babysit Lucky during rehearsals.
That's right. Basically, that was my job.
That was
Dog
your
wrangling.
job. I'm kidding. And Carl, you were originally cast as the Tin Man about 4 years ago, right? And then you had to unfortunately drop out. But then you got cast as the Scarecrow, right?
Yeah. This is my second foray into the world of the Scarecrow, first with Storybook. So it was, I don't know, it's always been one of my favorite roles. I like the Tin Man too, Jeff, don't get me wrong.
I was about to say, which one would you have rather played now that you know the show? Are you happy that you got stuck with the Scarecrow?
I mean, there's something nice about being floppy instead of being rigid, and mostly it's the costume.
Yes, which we will talk about later. And Jeff, this is your second time playing Tin Man, right?
It
It
is.
was like 8 years ago.
My first experience with The Wizard of Oz for Storybook was music directing it and accompanying it once, many years ago.
I don't even remember
And
that.
then once I played the Tin Man, as you said, and there was a time in between that I didn't do, but this last time I got to do the Tin Man again. And it was just as much fun as the first time, except that my knees and my poor old bones reacted a little differently than they did the first time. But we got through it. It was good. It's a fun role.
Well, that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about next. Aileen and Jeff, how was it different this time? Besides your knees.
Besides being older.
Besides being older and
not being
wiser.
able to skip as well.
Yes.
Every time's a little bit different because you have different actors doing the show with you. So different actors have different line reads and different ways that they play the characters. But I think we had a really solid cast this past time, and they were really fun to work off of. So. Another
difference was the space that we were working in. The last time I did this, trying to think, was it at Mitchell Performing Arts Center?
Yeah.
And this time was at Gratz College.
Mm-hmm.
And Gratz College is a much smaller stage, so the way the set is arranged and the way the blocking and choreography is done is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
But again, as Aileen said, it was great fun, and working with new people is always great.
And I know with, in my part, with the backstage, just dealing with the curtains for the witches' castle is always fun. Trying not to get caught on that. So we actually had to figure out different ways to do that without getting completely ensnared in the curtains this time and having to deal with that. All right. So, Carl, you kind of hopped in on this. You just had done the Scarecrow, right? With a different company. How is that version different than the one that you did with Storybook?
Well, the other one I did is basically the classic movie version translated for the stage. So it has all the familiar songs and everything. And, you know, everyone who's seen the movie basically has seen this version. There are a couple of adjustments for to kind of acknowledge that it is not a movie, and a couple of kind of hidden, subtle references to some of the actors in the movie and things like that. But for the most part, it's just the movie.
Right.
And what's nice about this one is it's not just a different take on the same characters. A lot of the characters are just different.
Right.
A lot of the even though the characters are born from Dorothy's mind, a lot of the Ozian characters take a very different shape in the Storybook version, just by virtue of the fact that it was written to be as concise, and it's supposed to be within an hour as opposed to the full 2 hour version. So there's less development that has to happen, and I don't know. Does that answer your question? It's
Yes.
just
Well, I know with the storybook version, I know that the lady who wrote it, Patricia Goldberg, she tried to kind of base it on the movie version that everyone knows and loves with our own spin. So all the three boys, oh, thank you, Eleanor. The farmhands in storybook versions are adorable. That is true.
Yeah.
Aren't they cute? I know that, yes, the harmonies are perfect. That all the boys do get their own song, but they are all similar, like in the movie. They all have the same, the same melody. Thank you, Jeff. Words. And there is a Somewhere Over the Rainbow type song. So I know that we tried to keep it, similar to the movie with our own spin on it. So yes. Speaking of the Somewhere Over the Rainbow song, Aileen.
Yes.
Would you like to sing for us a little something, something? Yay!
Yes, as soon as my
your phone wakes up.
So
yes, please explain.
I actually auditioned for Storybook years ago with the song Rainbow Connection, which was actually for a year that they weren't even doing Wizard of Oz. They were doing Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella and something else. So I auditioned for Alice in Wonderland, and actually the first part that I did with Storybook was Alice in Alice in Wonderland, which I then went to play 3 more times, I think, or 2 more times, something like that. And so I will be singing a mashup between Rainbow Connection, which is the song that I auditioned for Storybook with, and Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which is the song that everyone knows from Dorothy. So here is my little mashup of Somewhere Over the Rainbow and Rainbow Connection, and I hope you enjoy it. Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Have you been half asleep? And have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice could be one and the same. it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
All right, Mark can join us again.
Hey, Mark,
Mark,
come
join
on back.
us.
Lovely.
Thanks, Jeff.
That's at 11 o'clock in the morning, kids.
Well, the shows are at 10:15.
That's
I was just going to say, we're used to that.
We're used to that. So,
Hey, I didn't have to sing a high C, which is
that's true.
I was going to say, and that's not even close to what she had to sing every
Aw.
show.
Aileen, your mentor, David Mulholland.
mentor.
Lovely as always. Thank you, David. We'll see you soon, maybe on another Behind the Curtains. So let's talk about the rehearsal process at Storybook. It's crazy, right?
What rehearsal process?
What rehearsal process? Tell us, someone, how long do we usually have for rehearsals before we put up a show?
5 days?
5 days, about 24 hours total?
24 to 28 hours.
Depending on the show, if it's new or if it's an old one that we all know by heart. Because we're crazy, and we have very good professional actors that do their jobs, and
according to Carl, he's equity, so he can do anything.
that's right. And you're all equity, so you all can do anything.
We are all equity, but that was Carl's favorite saying.
It's
during rehearsal.
true. That is very true.
I use it now because I think it's hilarious.
So, especially with Wizard of Oz, there are some lovely tongue twisters. Like the wonderful wizard, the whiz of a wizard is he.
That whole song is
That
just
whole
one
song.
giant tongue twister.
So, how do you guys remember your lyrics in such a short amount of time without fumbling over your words?
It's just all about repetition. You learn by just doing it over and over and over again. If you try really hard to just memorize something, it's extremely difficult. But if you just do something over and over and over again, before you know it, you've memorized it without really trying to memorize it. It's what I call learning your lines as opposed to memorizing your lines. You learn them by doing them over and over and over again, and suddenly you just have it in your mind, and it's available to you when you need it.
Carl, did you have more?
And well, Jeff and I also tend to agree on this point. One thing I do to help me memorize is write them down. Not typed up, but written down, handwritten.
Thank you, Jeff. On your index.
Visual aids.
Yes.
Yes, write everything out on cue cards and carry them around with you. And again, before you know it, you're not looking at the cue cards anymore, and you don't even realize it.
Yes.
Are
Two by
those
five cards.
your actual cards from the show, Jeff?
They are.
Aw. Yeah.
I
Ms.
tossed
Hen,
mine.
did you call?
I love that.
Those
I
are
don't write everybody
so
else's lines,
written,
just
too.
my own, you see.
Love that.
That's amazing.
I want to pause for a second. Hello, Pebbles Flintstones. Hello.
Oh.
Just want to say
Bam,
hi.
bam,
Bam, bam.
bam.
So, boys, how are those tight harmonies in Bravery? How did that go? I know this is one of the toughest shows, I think, with harmonies
You
for the
sounded
boys.
beautiful
You
every-
sounded beautiful every single time. We were rooting for you backstage every time.
It is the toughest show where harmonies are concerned. At least as far as shows I've done. Most of the shows involve like one or two, especially in the finale, harmonies. That, and you know, I'm trying to think of the only other show that I've done that I can think of is Frog Prince, that has some, you know, some crazy counterpoint type stuff that we didn't go over a lot. But harmonies, man, this show is full of, like, chock full of 3 and 4 part craziness.
I mean, It's no Adventures in Toyland. Beth.
I love tight harmony. I just love doing it. One of my very favorite shows that I've been in is Forever Plaid, which is all tight harmony. And that's right up my alley. So I love doing it so much that it's just such a pleasure. I don't have any trouble learning it because I'm just so excited about hearing it when it's finished.
Both of you have done Forever Plaid.
Yes. Kevin Aruda, our musical director not musical director, our writer for this, who unfortunately passed away, did write some ridiculous harmonies. That is true. But I feel like the harmonies kind of showcase how the boys really fit together, though. Because they're the ones that are usually always singing the tight harmonies. So it kind of shows how it's kind of all connected. That's what I think anyway.
Whereas the wizard here didn't
Poor
sing
wizard.
anything.
Wizard, what did you sing?
Sang a little bit.
You sang
I sang.
the finale. And you you sang ooh.
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 Yeah, and that was tough to memorize.
Yeah. So our viewer here, Eleonora, says that she's a visual learner and she likes to draw pictures of all of her lines. That's an interesting way to do that. I know what helps me when I am acting is it helps it when I get it into my body. So when we go over rehearsals and we're actually moving and doing the dancing and moving across the stage, that's really when I get it into my brain, because then I can, again, it's a visual kinesthetic thing that I can then process it in my brain. Oh, well, I'm moving over here on that line, you know.
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, if there's ever a show where they're like, can you come and memorize them? I was like, I'll try, but not really. Yeah, me too. I'm much better with muscle memory intact, even with only 5 days of rehearsal. If you get it in your body the first 2 days, and then by the third and fourth day, you can.
I just make it up as I go along.
If that works for the director, then.
As our director's watching, she's never gonna pass.
So I wanted to talk to the boys again a little bit. I know we don't have Joel with us. I wish that Joel was with us, but he was a little busy right now. So hi, Joel, if you're watching. I just really wanted to talk about like cast bonding and how that helps with the process. Like how you guys really fed off of each other, especially in your cowboy, what is it, barnyard scenes? Yeah, thank you. Farmhand scenes.
Yeah.
When you guys got to mess around a little bit, have some fun. So let's talk about how that kind of bond formed. Carl, you've known Joel for a while, right?
Yeah. Joel is from my hometown. He's 3 years younger than me. And I actually went to a 3-year high school. So I met him when I went back to my high school to choreograph a show for my mother, who is the head of the drama department. And he and I hit it off. He was the what's his name, Horton, in Seussical the Musical. And so he and I hit it off. We got to know each other. And then later when he called me and said, hey, I'm thinking about doing theater as a profession. I'm thinking about auditioning for Straw Hat. I said, why don't you just come to Philly and audition around Philly and just pick a scene that you like, see if you like the Philly scene and audition here. And so he said, all right. He came up and he, started working in the Philly area, kind of based mostly on my recommendation, which is kind of a terrifying thing. But yeah, it's been awesome. I've gotten to do several shows with him now in the area as a professional, which is crazy, working with a former student.
And Jeff was just there. Jeff, no.
Nice.
Not kidding.
No, I had a great time working with Carl and Joel, and feeling really comfortable with each other backstage and getting to know each other personally really helps what we have to do on stage, especially when you talk about the farmhands, about how we're just supposed to be these three guys who work together and just spend all day together, and they're silly, and they're always picking on each other and making fun. I think it's really important to get along with the people that you're working with, so that comes out on stage. And I had no trouble at all getting along with everyone in this cast. I try not to ever have trouble getting along with anyone in any cast, but these guys were particularly wonderful to work with. And even people that I don't work with much on stage, like Mark as the professor and the wizard. Mark was the one who helped me get into my costume every day, and he helped me stay calm while we had that thing timed down to the second. I mean, I was just coming around the corner to make my entrance in that costume every time.
Yep, I was always looking out for you.
I appreciate it, but yeah, the fact that Mark and I, got along so well and were able to just do that without being in each other's way or feeling tense or anything like that, it just made it possible, and enjoyable.
My favorite part during the show every day was Carl trying to make us all laugh during that huddle when the Wicked Witch comes out with the poppies. And like, poppies! And the four of us are like, what are we going to do?
Can't even get through.
He's behind to the audience, and he's like, but theater. And he's like, this is my best angle. And he would say stuff that is very inappropriate to say on a child-friendly broadcast. But he tried to make us all laugh every day, and it was hilarious. Carl.
Della Diamond says, please show us more of Toto.
I hate you. I'm laughing. I hate you.
Della Diamond would like to see more of Toto, please. Can we?
Someone wants more Toto.
Wants more Toto.
Hello.
And Eleanor says, so it's Carl's fault that Joel is here. Thank you.
Yes, Eleanor, it is.
Thank you. We all appreciate that, because he is a very wonderful guy.
Come here, Lucky.
Let's talk about Lucky for a little bit, since he's coming back in.
Toto, because, well, we all want to see more Toto.
Well, we can talk about Lucky for a little bit. So, I know during the show we had a little bit of an issue, because poor Lucky there, anytime that he would see his dada, would try to go on stage when he was not supposed to.
And then would try to go off stage. When he was not supposed to. So we had to keep a very close eye on Mr. Lucky there. Thank goodness most of the time I had him on the leash.
Yes.
I mean, he was better than last time. Last time we did Wizard of Oz, before this, I would call him out and be like, Toto, I'm home, and I would call him out, and he would try to go down to our musical director, who's like over off the stage, and I'd be like, no, I love you too. I'm so glad that you. And
you also ran him into a fence at one point.
I did run him into a fence.
Poor Lucky's been through everything.
No dogs were harmed.
I mean,
the stupidity.
Yes, he did love climbing on Joel's lap. That is.
Oh my goodness, love Joel.
It was super cute.
Climbed on top of Joel's
lap. We have a question from the audience. What kind of treats does Lucky Toto like?
So Lucky likes anything that tastes like meat or dairy products. So
anything from an animal.
Anything from it. He is not a vegetarian. But
the anti-vegan.
We had pulled pork and brisket for dinner, and oh my god, he devoured that. And he likes Charlie Bear treats, and he likes, chicken treats and salmon treats and stuff. He does not like milk-bones.
Yeah, not a dog biscuit guy.
Not a dog biscuit guy.
He likes his meat.
His meat.
Aileen, do you remember that time when you were cuddling Lucky during intermission and you almost thought that it was Act 1 all over again?
I totally did remember that.
We went to places for Act 2 and she starts getting Lucky on a leash and bringing her.
Ready to cross behind the stage.
And I was like, Aileen, what are you doing?
I'm to Oz in this version. So Rachel's like, what? It's Act 2, Aileen. And I was like, oh.
Keep Lucky backstage, please.
Oh, Murphy Toto likes messages. So Eleanor, who has done Hansel and Gretel with us and Cinderella, knows a dog who has been Toto on the national tour. We need to get Lucky on the national tour.
Yes.
One of us also has to be on it too. Once there's theater again.
Oh, actually, Slim Jims. Okay, Slim Jims are good.
I mean,
That's meat.
I'm sure Lucky would like Slim Jims too.
Everyone
I'm
does
not
love
gonna
Lucky
feed him a
Toto.
Slim Jim.
So, Aileen, can you help me set up this little clip that we're going to show? We
Sure.
got lucky enough that Matteo from 6ABC got to come out. So, Aileen, set this up for me.
So I had met Matteo doing another gig because, well, actors work all of the gigs. So I was doing a gig with my singing group called Chase to Treasure. We have an episode tonight if you're an adult.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. But so I met him doing Kilt Fest for Chase Treasure. And I was thinking, oh, well, maybe he'd like to come out and do a piece about Storybook and how we've been bringing family-friendly theater to the Philadelphia area for 28 years. Is that right?
28 seasons, yes.
And we've got a rescue dog in the piece, and it's a whole family kind of running the show because Rachel, my sister, Marcus, my husband, Toto's my dog, my mom's the director, my dad's the executive.
We'll hear all this in the clip, yes.
There.
So, yes, let's see the clip.
Anyway, but he was nice enough to get back to me and did a piece about Storybook, which was really cool, and it was on Facebook and I think their YouTube page for 6ABC here in Philadelphia, because that's where we're based.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the clip from Matteo and 6ABC.
Just seeing their sparkling faces and instilling a love for the arts, catering their imaginations at such a young age is so important nowadays. It's really about paying it forward to the next generations.
My favorite part was when the lion came in and he scared all the other people. My favorite part is when the witch young comes and takes Dorothy away.
I think that there's a beauty to the idea that not everyone has to look perfect all the time. The first thing we did is come on stage and look goofy. And I think that they look at that and they go, oh, it's great to look goofy. It's great to look silly.
It kind of shows them it's all right to laugh at yourself. But it's also inspiring just to hope that you're gonna inspire some little kid out there. Hopefully we lit that candle in some kid today.
The Philadelphia theater community is a very tight-knit family. That's a good word for it because everyone knows everyone, everyone loves everyone.
There's myself as Dorothy, our dog Lucky as Toto. My husband plays the Wizard and the Professor. My mother is the director. My father is the executive director. My little sister Rachel wears all of the hats. It's a huge musical theater that we keep in the family.
He's the wizardly, wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Yay!
My voice cracks me up.
May I just say we wouldn't be able to do any of this with our lovely stage manager, Dana Schmidt. He's amazing. And all of our other crew members that are at Storybook. So
Paris
props to them.
Oh,
Was it Tony at the time?
Tony, maybe.
I think it was Tony. I don't know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So props out to them. And if you like what you see at Storybook and want to keep us alive for another 28 seasons, please donate to us. Venmo us at Storybook-Musical Theater or visit our website at storybookmusical.org. Please help keep the arts alive. Yay. Thank you. It was Tony. Thank you. Oh, Eleanor says that Carl is good at looking goofy.
True.
It's true.
She's right.
It's true.
That's why I got the part.
It's right.
That's fair. That's
So, Carl, you had a lot of falling down bits. Did you ever get hurt during the performances?
No.
No?
Nope.
Good. We don't want that.
You didn't have to write the letter or whatever, fill out the.
Yeah, no incident reports.
fill out the deputy. Jeff was happy about that because he was the deputy, I think, during the show, so he didn't.
I was.
And your faithful understudies did not have to go on for any of you either. Yay!
Yeah, right. You didn't have to be a boy.
Well, no. Theo was the understudy for the boys.
Yeah.
I did not have to go on for any of the girls. Thank you.
That's true.
Theo are the other understudy.
It was after the Aladdin incident where
We will talk about that during Aladdin. Don't ruin it.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. Don't ruin it. All right.
Don't ruin it. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Already.
Come see the Aladdin.
Come see the Aladdin one, which we will do eventually. So let's talk about some of the show's performances. Were there any good audience reactions or interactions that you guys had that surprised you, or
wasn't there one day that they just laughed at everything? Where like the boys entered and I think they started dying and like.
And you were sad, and they were crying, and they were laughing at your sad song. You know this one where you're very heartfelt.
Oh my goodness, that was the one that got me. It was, children have no filter, so like, you get all kinds of comments. But I remember, oh my gosh, it was so hard to keep a straight face because we're right down at the front of the lip of the stage. Maybe 10 feet from an audience member, but trying to project to the entire room. And one person right in front of us goes, too loud. Right in front of us.
Too loud.
Too loud.
There was also one where she was like, someone was like, she's crying. I was like,
ooh. True acting.
Was evil monkey. Evil monkey.
And I was like, was that me?
Rachel.
Yes, they were talking about me. When I was changing the sets, they were, especially during the Witch's Castle, and one of the person yelled out, evil monkey! And I was like,
this is funny.
I'll take it. I wasn't dressed as a monkey. I was just dressed in all black, but I'll take it.
Did you? I think you should have left the stage like, oh.
No, I did not. Della has a question. Have you ever had to eat your props like Toto did? What is the best edible prop and the worst?
Oh.
I definitely have. Yes.
I was doing Cinderella a long time ago with Storybook, and I was playing the stepsister. So I think did I open the show after the song?
Yes, eating the chocolates.
The first line, I was Zinnia, one of the annoying stepsisters.
You were eating chocolates.
We were eating chocolates. So I was eating chocolate on stage. If it was chocolate, that would have been way better. But it was pieces of pumpernickel bread.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like shoving pumpernickel in my face. Which by the end of shoving pumpernickel gets real dry and nasty. So like it's like, oh, Cinderella, would you like the best chocolate? Nope. It's just so much dry, nasty pumpernickel. And Providence, the peanut butter sandwich that was just 2 slices of dry, nasty bread.
Carl, you had to eat pumpernickel as well, did you not?
I did. I ate pumpernickel as the beast.
Yummy.
Beast.
That was steak. And then you also got grapes, though, during Frog Prince. You got to eat some
grapes.
yummy
I had grapes fed to me.
Yes, you did have grapes.
By me. Yeah. I got to eat your grapes, and you made them.
We will talk about that during Frog Prince.
I'll tell you what. Okay, so my edible prop story is actually the first show I ever did. I was Oliver in Oliver, and we had to eat gruel, and then I had to go ask for more. So I was supposed to be obviously done with my gruel. And what I didn't know at the time was the actors who were serving up the gruel would always give me the largest helping of gruel imaginable.
No.
And every day, and it was just oatmeal, but every day they flavored it differently. So some days they'd plop it in my thing and I'd start eating it and it was like flavored with chocolate syrup. And then other days they'd plop it in, I'd start eating it and it was flavored with mustard. And so like it was just kind of a roll of the dice as to what my gruel was going to taste like, and I had to devour it as quickly as possible. I think I had like 3 8-counts to eat all my gruel, and it was horrible. The tension of having to finish my oatmeal was...
No. I'm really glad when I did Oliver, we just pretended.
Hey, we've got another question.
Yes, we have that was going to lead into my next...
Oh, Mark has an answer to the food question.
Oh, food question, yes.
I did a show in which my character, during the course of the show, drank a 6-pack of beer.
Oh.
And got drunker. Now, the stage manager every day would bring in an empty 6-pack of bottles and fill it with iced tea or water or something like that. But a few days into the run, they found that pre-show, they just didn't have time to do everything. And so they just started bringing in 6-packs.
Oh, no.
And so during the show, I was actually drinking a 6-pack of beer during the show. So I didn't have to act like I was,
Kids, don't do that. Don't do that, kids.
Do this. I'm just telling you. By the way, I was in my 40s at the time. So I was well above drinking age.
Yes.
And managers out there, please don't make your actors do that.
And Jeff and I had the same experience because Jeff, way back in the Wayback Day, you played Hansel in our Hansel and Gretel, and I have played Gretel in the past. So we got to eat the good stuff. We got to eat all the sweets and the Fruit Loops.
I had to let you guys eat that
colorful food.
Colorful food, and we had to please beg our backstage person to give us water in our cups. Ooh, who's drinking?
I just silenced it.
Okay, you're good, Gara. So leading into our next part, Mark, how did you enjoy being trapped in the wizard booth for most of Act 2? And did you resist a live microphone? I know for you it was hard because of your long legs.
It was difficult because I've got these long grasshopper legs. That was more of a challenge when I actually had to speak into the mic or when I had to make my exit. But being back there was kind of nice, It's my own little corner, my own little world. I could be whoever I want to be.
Thank you, Sandra.
Yeah, and it was. I got very zen back there. It was a chance to sort of reflect and turn inward, get inside my own mind. It was a very nice experience. And as far as resisting the mic, I was just turning the mic off.
You were a good actor.
Unlike David, he was not tempted.
Well, I know one of the funny stories that I have was I remember a time when you were in the booth and all 4 of them, had to be scared of you because you were a wizard making loud noises. And the mic usually had the echo on it, but that time the live mic died. So it was just your regular voice trying to be like, I am Oz! And all 4 of you had to be like,
I'm so scared.
I am so scared of this random man in the booth.
Pay no attention to
Were there any?
Hear it anyway, though.
Mark did just make a musical theater.
Yes, he did.
The echo was not as severe on stage as it was in the audience.
No.
On purpose. So often we were reacting to something we could barely hear anyway.
Yeah, I couldn't really hear it.
You'd be like, oh, I'm so...
So, yeah, the time it wasn't working, I didn't know it wasn't working.
It's called acting, ladies and gentlemen. The 4 of them were acting.
My favorite, Rachel, I don't know if you're bringing this up, is the smoke.
Oh.
So whenever the witch appears and disappears or whatever, there's
not every time.
A fog machine, a lot. And I love it every time I do a show where there's fog. The actors are talking perfectly normal through it because it's not toxic. It's totally fine. But it gets out in the audience. The audience immediately is like, I'm dying. We're up on stage trying to act and it's just like, okay, kids, you're being more dramatic than we are.
There was also a couple of times this run where the fog machine decided to not work, especially when poor Faith had to melt. And
Gone?
She's melting. Imagination, ladies and gentlemen. The confetti made her melt off stage. Speaking of Faith, we love Faith. Faith is one of our recurring actors here at Storybook. Talk about how her green makeup would get all over you, Aileen.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
none of the other boys really dealt with her.
Green makeup all over her face and her hands to look like the movie, because that's how she has been established. And if she looked normal, it would be confusing. So she had green makeup all over her hands. And there was one section after the whole Poppy's put them to sleep scene that she would come and grab me and pull me off stage. Well, when she pulled me off stage, I don't remember what hand it was, but she would grab me hard enough that afterwards I'd be backstage and be like, I'm green! And it always cracked me up if I would do a show after Wizard and her microphone, like the cord is all green and the receiver's all green. And you're like, oh, Faith had this microphone.
Jeff, do you want to talk about having to be silver for this second half of the show?
Oh yeah, the silver makeup is. Thankfully, I did not have the same reaction to it that the original Tin Man in the movie The Wizard of Oz had. But I understand, especially when makeup was made of different material back in the 30s, 1930s. It was very dangerous. It had real metal in it that the original man who was cast as the Tin Man was very allergic to, and he got very, very sick from it and couldn't do the role. Thankfully, it's nowhere near that bad, but it is very uncomfortable, and it just closes off all your pores and makes you feel like you can't sweat properly, when you're hot. It feels very strange, but that's one of the things that we do for our art, right? The sacrifices that we make. There we are.
The good thing is for you basically only had to do your face and a little bit of your neck, because most of the other parts were covered. But
absolutely, and the time to do it was very, very short.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Carl, how was your makeup? Your makeup was fine.
Mine was fine. I had worse makeup in Frog Prince. So come see the Frog Prince thing if you want to hear about how easy it is being green.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I was helping Faith get changed, and every day I would have to pull down her sweater of her dress, her arms, and I would get green all over me. So there's green backstage too. So makeup everywhere.
And the broom.
And the broom, it's all over the broom. So, oh yes, thank you, Peppers. And it was aluminum dust.
Aluminum dust. And the actor was Buddy Ebsen.
Buddy Ebsen, yes, Buddy Ebsen.
He was not able to do the role because of the aluminum dust in his makeup.
Poor Buddy Ebsen. Did he get like workman's comp back?
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
Awful.
So Jeff, let's also talk about your costume and how you could not sit down in your costume. How is that?
It's very hard to move in that costume. For it to look like it's all made of metal, it had to pretty much cover everything, and it overlaps. The knee thigh part overlaps the shin part, you see. And so moving around in it is very difficult, and sitting on a chair is practically impossible. So a couple of times on stage, I had to kneel as part of the blocking, as part of the movement that we do on stage. And getting down was hard, but getting up was even harder. One time, I accidentally put the legs on backwards, which is easy to do because it looks very similar front to back, but it doesn't move exactly the same way. And I found it difficult during the first scene that I was in. It didn't feel right, and sure enough, my knees were pointing the wrong way, or the left was on the right, and vice versa. And so it didn't quite move properly. It was difficult, but interesting.
Live theater, everybody.
Live.
And I know during the chase, when we had the chase with the witch and the Scarecrow and the lion, that you and Dorothy had to stay on stage because Tinman could not get up and down the stairs.
Right. Not very easily.
Not very easily. So what would you and Aileen ad-lib?
On stage instead.
Yes, what was your conversation on stage? Because all the kids were paying attention to, the action in the...
Well, I will say that
What are we gonna do?
what we said was always appropriate to our characters.
It was.
Although it might have been kind of silly because we knew that nobody was paying any attention to us. They were just paying attention to the guys who were running around in the audience. But we would, I forget the things that we would say, but, why is he walking right by her?
And we would figure out different ways to put out the fire.
Yeah, how can we put out the fire?
Stop, drop, and roll? No, that's not going to work.
Right.
Sand? No, that's not going to work.
And eventually we would think of, the water.
We won't have one of those.
And Carl jumping on stage every time. Whew, I would not be able to do that. So, Carl, would you like to sing your Scarecrow song for us, since we're talking about performances, and give us a little Scarecrow?
Yeah. So, and this is the same tune for all three of us, but this one has a section in the middle. I don't know how well it's going to pick up my whistling, but I'll give it a try. So you guys can give me some feedback afterward. If you take one look upon my burlap face, I'm a scarecrow, plain as you can see. But inside my noggin there's an empty space where my brain was surely meant to be. I've been well constructed in the human plot, but I know I should have been recalled. For within my head you'll find a vacant lot where my thinker never got installed. I can clear any cornfield of the common crow with a boo and a holler and a hey, get, go! I can sing and dance and whistle too, but I don't know how or why I do. Now I do confess at least that visually I'm complete as anyone can be. Though I can't complain, if I had a brain, I'd be everything a scarecrow ought to be. Though I can't complain, if I had a brain, I'd be everything a scarecrow ought to be.
Yay! If you liked Carl singing, please donate. Support the arts. Venmo. Or go to storybookmusical.org.
Let us do a show again.
Let us do a show again once all of this is over. Yay! So we're gonna...
Carl, Della Diamond wants to know that you have great whistling. Is that on your resume as a special skill?
It is on my resume that I can whistle. Yes. I know people who whistle much more aptly than myself, but yeah, it is there that I can do it.
I mean, Carl, I think your whistling was pretty good during Beauty and the Beast when you had to dance and whistle at the same time. So,
I was impressed by that.
Very impressive.
Things we do for art.
So I'm going to a little bit wrap it up because we're getting close to the end. Oh, hello, Katie Cat. So for the children that are out there, anyone can whistle, yes, thank you, Alma. For the children that are out there, what inspired you to join the theater, whether it was doing a show at a young age, whether it was a movie or seeing a show? What inspired all of you to join the theater? So let's start with Aileen and Mark. Yeah.
I blame my parents.
Well, you did.
No, literally.
Yeah.
I blame my parents. And then watching people like David Mulholland, who's watching right now, and the other actors who would work for my parents made me go, I want to do that. That looks fun. I want to make people laugh and be stupid and sing in the spotlight. And, be able to connect with hundreds of people all at the same time. So I blame my parents.
Mark?
My story's way too long to tell, but basically, I'm a nut for Shakespeare. And I came into this roundabout way. I was an Army officer, then I was an engineer for many years. And at some point, I used to just go see as much Shakespeare as I could live. And at some point, I just said, you know what? I think I can do that. So I started working towards that goal and left my engineering career, became an actor.
All right, Jeff?
Totally.
Well, I would say for me, it was a combination of seeing shows like I would go to see a high school show when the younger of my 3 older sisters was in high school. She had friends who were in the shows, and I would go and see them. And I was mesmerized by live theater, musical theater. I saw Godspell and Fiddler on the Roof and Oklahoma, and all these wonderful old shows. And then I started to go and see them professionally. They would give me a Christmas present to the Academy of Music to see Fiddler on the Roof starring Toto. Really famous people in wonderful shows, and the bug just really bit. And then when I first started to do shows in school, that was it. I knew I just had to do that. I had to be a performer on stage and involved in this wonderful business of theater and performing arts in general in some way or another. And so that's just been my life and my livelihood.
And Carl?
Yeah, mine was also my parents' fault, but it was, they kind of saw it in me. They said, he's going to enjoy this. And so they said, you should audition for Oliver. And my initial reaction was, no, I don't want to do that. And they said, no, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And they, they said it because they knew that I would enjoy doing it. They knew it was going to be something I would enjoy doing, and I was scared to do it, and I didn't want to, try something new or whatever. But they made me do it. And after I had been in Oliver, that was it. I knew.
And how old were you when you did Oliver, Carl?
10.
10.
That's funny because my parents said, you don't want to do this, right? You want to be a doctor or a lawyer and use those brains, right? And I was like, no, I want to be an actor. So. As
Eleanor says, most people blame their parents for lots of things. That's very true.
Well, Anastasia certainly will.
No, little Anastasia. Yeah. So I would like to, I'm going to end each broadcast with you guys with a little would you rather question.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, don't worry, it's all storybook related. So today's question, since we're doing Wizard of Oz, is would you rather spend a day with Dorothy in Oz or Alice in Wonderland, and why? Who would like to go first?
So either way it's Aileen, right?
Yeah, either way. But one's in Oz and one's in Wonderland. Oh no, Aileen did not play Alice last time we did it, so.
That's right. Well, for me, the people in Wonderland are so eerily crazy and creepy. I think I would have a better time in Oz because as long as you stick to the yellow brick road or the forest where the trees don't talk and throw things, you're pretty safe. Oz is a relatively nice place, but Wonderland is just full of really crazy, weird people and animals that talk and crazy.
Even if you had a wicked witch following you around?
Well, all right. So, that's why these questions are tough, right? There's always a plus and a minus.
What was that, Mark?
You don't have to worry about the witch. You just throw a bottle of water on her and you're good.
True.
Duh.
That's
Flash.
Carl, do you have a stance, Oz or Wonderland?
I think I agree with Jeff's assessment. I think kind of I don't know, man. Talking Scarecrow, talking Metal Man.
It's still pretty weird, isn't it?
It's still a little weird, but the characters in Oz feel more sane than the characters in Wonderland. So I think I would go with the sanity as opposed to the wonderment.
I think in Oz, it's easier to tell who your friends and enemies are.
Awesome.
In Wonderland, even though they're weird, they're still your friends, or But in Wonderland, people who've kind of been by your side the whole time suddenly turn on you and want to, cut off your head or whatever. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as someone who's played both Alice and Dorothy. I feel like most of Alice I spent going curiouser and curiouser, and she doesn't really have any friends in Wonderland. Like, they're just all really weird, and no one really helps her. She kind of has to help herself.
Right.
The only person that's really her friend is the Jack of Hearts, and he's pretty incompetent. He's really not any sort of helpful.
Bella said Wonderland would be more of a fun roller coaster ride.
I mean, it would be a great roller coaster ride, but not necessarily my anxiety or my sanity. At least in Oz, like the Scarecrow is her friend and is always her friend. Same with the Tinman and the Lion. Like, they are her friends and will help her.
Right.
And the only person you really have to worry about in Oz is the Wicked Witch and the monkeys, whereas like the Wonderland, it's like, like Jeff said, like they're all weird and they're all kind of against her and nobody's helping her out. So I'm going with Oz.
Cool. Well,
Oz, for all the same aforementioned reason.
Plus you get, magic shoes and
we can bring Toto.
And we can bring Toto. Yes. So that's it, everybody. We've hit the hour mark. So I just want to thank everybody for being here and joining us. Fun. And thanks everybody for watching. For those of you who are watching with us, we do have all the social media pages: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Please follow us there. Also, please remember to donate at Venmo. Find us at Storybook-Musical Theater. And also, for more information about us, visit our website at storybookmusical.org. Right now on our YouTube pages, we have Story Time with Storybook, which a bunch of us have done. We've read some stories for all of the children. I know that I did Frog Prince, Carl and his lovely wife did Beauty and the Beast. Aileen did Rumpelstiltskin, so you can find that on our YouTube page right now. And also, Aileen, can you talk a little bit about the personalized character greetings that we have?
Sure, now that my internet's back.
Yes, now that your internet.
I don't know what happened there. You can have a character of your choice from a list of about 30 characters long send you a personalized character greeting. So if you have a birthday for a child coming up, or something big happened in their life, I know Rapunzel did a personalized greeting for a child who just finished potty training. I know. So you can have any sort of personalized greeting from any of your favorite characters. Well, not any, but a lot of your favorite characters from Storybook can do a personalized greeting just for you for $25. You can send the money to Venmo. Just make sure you write us either an email or in the Venmo. Tell us what character you want to see, maybe a list of your top 3, just in case the top one isn't available. And your email address, your child's name, and what you want us to say or celebrate for your child.
Yay.
Nice.
So again, please think about donating. We would like to see you all again at the theater whenever we can. And thank you, David. It was fun for us too. And yes, join us next time. We're going to be reuniting the cast of Princess and the Pea. We will let you know what the specific date is a little bit closer. We still have to get in touch with a couple of the actors. But yes, Princess and the Pea is going to be next, and that's always a fun one. So Thanks, everybody. Will Jeff put on the silver paint? Nah.
No.
Not for that. So
Jeff
join
doesn't have the costume at home.
Does
So
not have the costume at home.
Tinman is
So
not on the list.
It's a well put together costume.
It is a well put together
It
costume.
is.
Thank you, Carl, for
Carl
fixing it.
helped.
All right. Well, that
Riveting.
ends our show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, all actors.
Thank
It was nice
you.
to see you. Bye, everybody.
Good to see you too. Bye.
Bye.